department, sociology, head of department, microbiology, and see the director of Center for Technical Studies, deputy director of academic planning. The Faculty of Management Sciences, the College of Basic Medical Sciences, Faculty of Medical Sciences, Director, Center for Energy Studies. Please, can we be on our feet as we welcome the members of the University Senate, please? The University Librarian, the University Bossa, the Registrar of the University, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Partnerships, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, the Chairman of the Senate, Chairman of this occasion. Thank you very much, Mr. Kurama. I would like to welcome the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs of the University, Professor Chifu. We'd like to recognize the presence of the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research and Partnerships, Professor Samuel Kwaghe. The Registrar of the University, Malam Nurajin Abdu, is here represented by Senior Deputy Registrar, Dr. Abubakar Hassan Ahmad II. We acknowledge the presence of the Bossa, Mr. Daniel Wilson. The University Librarian, Professor Abiodun Yoro, is also here. We would like to welcome the chairperson of the Inaugural Lecture Committee, Professor. We welcome Ms. Kwaghe Amani. Welcome, sir. We acknowledge the presence of the Dean, School of Progressive Studies of the University, Professor Victor Samson Buga. We recognize especially the inaugural lecturer, Professor Zara and I'd like to acknowledge the presence of all deans and directors of the university here yesterday, all senior deputy registrars in the university who are here, senior teaching and non-teaching staff of the university. We welcome all of you to this event. The President of the Historical Society of Nigeria, Professor Samuel Agalino. Welcome, sir. We acknowledge the presence of the Director of Nigerian Army Resettlement Center, Professor CPN Obudu, former President of the Historical Society of Nigeria. You're welcome. We would like to also welcome the National Secretary of the Historical Society of Nigeria, Professor Patrick Kaskin. Mr. Sondri Atta, Director of the Defense Headquarters here, we acknowledge your presence. We have Mr. Bashir Samuel Gazama, Director of Operations and General Investigation. We have Dr. Tijani, our lecturer, we welcome Mr. Joseph Kwaghe, son, Mrs. Stephanie Kwaghe, daughter, Dr. Halima Suleiman, sister, Mr. Malik Muhammad, the student, Dr. Ahmed Sadri, Mr. and Dr. Eddie Najeri, we welcome you. Welcome to the schoolmate of the National Lecture. We like to welcome Clement Duga, Deputy Commander, representing the Sector Commander. I appreciate you, sir. But we will sincerely want to recognize everyone who welcome to you. On this note, Mr. Chairman, I would like to invite for the matter of address the chairperson of the Inaugural Lecture Committee of the University of Latvia, Professor Joseph Nota.
Disabled team, my colleagues, professors in the House, Senate members, other staff, students, visitors, our security personnel that never fail us, the family of the presenter today, Madam Presenter herself, ladies and gentlemen, media crew in the house. Today marks another very special day. For us, on the surface, is the 14th inaugural lecture on the 14th day of May. If you are a fan of Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, you would have seen that women, mothers, have become very popular. Everybody's praising the woman, the wife, the sister, and all of that. There's hardly any person here in this hall who doesn't have something good to say about a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a wife, a relative, whoever that is a woman. Yet, the path of the girl, let's say girl child, the path of the woman through life, to say the least, is gruesome in every aspect of it. Is it as a child, washing and cleaning where the boys are enjoying themselves? Is it as a sister, a mother, whose duty it is to take care of her girl children or her boy children, who spends sleepless nights? Is it as a wife who is most times raped even by her own husband? Is it at workplace? I just hope that today, as we listen to her story being told from the horse's mouth, we will be convinced that the UN declaration, which we have been appealing, 35% what? Affirmation, is recognized as something that is good for women. And I pray and hope that all the atrocities against women and also against men, Madam Genda, you will agree that men are also affected. So let us be reciprocal as we listen to her story today. History is being made with her story today. Thank you, gentlemen and women.
Thank you very much. That was
Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Partnership, the Registrar, Bosa, University Liberia, Deans and Directors here present, our inaugural lecturer of today, Prof. Zara, the head of departments, professors, and let me at this point also recognize our former Deputy Vice Chancellor General and other members of the Senate of Federal University of Latvia, our distinguished invited guests, member of family of Professor Zara. We are all welcome to this very historic inaugural lecture. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to Federal University of Latvia. I begin this address by expressing my sincere thanks to all of you for attending this inaugural lecture titled "A Story in the Making of Modern Nigeria, Patriarchy, Women and the Politics of Knowledge Production" by a professor of social history, Professor Zara Kwaghe. Your presence here today is an expression of great support for this university. This is the first inaugural lecture by a female professor of history in this university. It is an opportunity for Professor Zara to share her knowledge, discoveries, and even personal journey in the field of social history with scholars and other stakeholders of this university. We are here to celebrate her and learn from her vast knowledge and experience. I therefore congratulate her, the Department of History, and the Faculty of Arts on this achievement. From the title, We shall be enlightened on the level of women participation in rolling production in the making of northern Nigeria. I expect men to be more attentive here and learn some good lessons. Professor Zara is a very hard-working academic who is currently demonstrating excellent performance in her capacity as the Director of Center for Cultural Studies in this university. Professor Zara is a mentor and a mother to all her students, including my personal secretary, Mr. Bashir Ogomota, and I can also include the registrar of this university, who are her students. She loves her profession and her students. She's a visionary person and fantastic teacher who always shows interest in the progress of her students. I welcome you all, our mentees, who are also here happily to listen to our inaugural lecture. On behalf of the university management, I express our deep appreciation to the University Inaugural Lecture Committee, which has Professor Kwaghe as chairperson, for the progress we are making in our inaugural lecture series. Let me also thank Professor Zara's family for the support given to her, especially the husband. We are thanking you for the journey in this journey and during the preparation for this inaugural lecture. I welcome you all and God bless. Thank you very much.
Attention of the inaugural lecture.
May I please respectfully invite the inaugural lecturer to please rise and remain standing. The Vice Chancellor and Chairman of this inaugural lecture, Principal Officers of the University here present, members of the University community, Professor Zara Kwaghe, FHSN, Zara Caroline Nkiru Emmanuel Kwaghe, Ni Okani, is the last child of the family of Engineer Edmond N. Okani and Hajia Nana Kazalma Okani. She was born in Port Harcourt on December 16, 1966, just before the Nigerian Civil War. After the Nigerian Civil War, her father, being a construction engineer, moved to Calabar with the family to work with the Taylor Wardrobe Construction Company. Zara attended government school, Main Avenue, Calabar, for her primary education from 1972 to 1974. After the death of her father in 1974, the family moved to Enugu, where she continued with her primary education at Ashara Lake Primary School, Enugu, from 1975 to 1978. After her primary education, at the insistence of their family friend, Alhaji Hashim Adaji of blessed memory, one-time Minister of Defense, Zara was made to proceed to Njema Community Secondary School, Ofugo, in the defunct Benue State, Kogi State, for her secondary education from 1978 to 1981. At Ofugo, she was a very calm student who took all her school activity with seriousness. She was assiduous and paid attention to details in her study. She was likable, friendly, and supportive to all around her in school. However, she could not complete her secondary education in ECSS of Fugo, as she had to move to Girls Secondary School, Ongo, Enugu State from 1981 to 1983, when she obtained her General Certificate of Education, GCE with flying colors. For her friendly and pleasant disposition, Zara still maintained her relationship with her Igala family friends and schoolmates, some of whom are present here in this hall. After graduating from secondary school, Zara moved to Bodo College of Basic Study, Maiduguri, for her IGMB program, successfully and proceeded to the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where she was admitted into the Department of History, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences in 1986. In 1989, she obtained her BA Honours degree in History. She proceeded to Ilorin, Kwara State for the mandatory one-year NYSC program After her NYSC, she secured a teaching appointment with the Sarkashim Ibrahim College of Education, Maiduguri, and taught there for 7 years. While in the services of the institution, she enrolled and obtained a Master of Arts degree in Political History at the University of Maiduguri. She left Maiduguri to Abuja to briefly work with the Christian Broadcasting Network from 1997 to 2000. She later left the Broadcasting Network to join the services of the Adamawa State University, Mobi, as a lecturer in year 2002. In 2010, she obtained her PhD in Social History at the University of Maiduguri and PGD in Education from the Adamawa State University, Mobi, in 2013. While in Adamawa State University, Professor Zara held several administrative positions, some of which are examination officer to the department, head of Department of History and Faculty of Art and Social and Management Science work to the Senate between 2010 and 2014, member Art Students in 2011 to 2015, and a member of Senate Business Committee in the Adamawa State University between 2011 to 2015. In 2015, after the Boko Haram invasion of Mobi, an attack on many residents there, Zara left Mobi to join the services of the Federal University of Lafia as a senior lecturer, where she wrote in the course of her career in Federal University of Lafia. She has so far held the following positions: Level Advisor, Departmental Postgraduate Coordinator, Welfare Chairperson, Department of History and International Study, Faculty Examination Officer, Acting Head of Department of History and International Study, Member of Ad hoc Committee of State of University in Nigeria, Member Public Lecture Committee, Member Research Ethics Clearance Committee, Departmental Postgraduate Coordinator, Member Committee on University Reward System, Member Committee for Introduction of Special Receipt Examination for the Spillover Student, and Committee to Review the Student Handbook, Member Budget Monitoring Committee and Director, and currently Director, Center for Cultural Studies. Apart from holding administrative duties in the university, Zara has been a visiting lecturer in Federal University of Kashere, Gombe State, external examiner on the graduate program Department of History and International Relations, Veristas University, the Catholic University of Nigeria, Abuja, and external examiner at Nigerian Defense Academy in 2019, 2020, and 2022, external examiner, Benue State University, University of Jos, and Nasarawa State University, KF, in 2023 today. She has supervised and graduated quite a number of undergraduate and postgraduate students, 17 master's degrees and 3 PhDs. Professor Zara is also active in ASU at the local and national level, where she has served as member of National Committee on Peace and Reconciliation, ASU 2011, member Ethics and Grievance Committee, Adamawa State University, ASU 2013 to 2015, member Budget Monitoring Committee, Federal University of Lafia, ASU 2016 to 2021, member Chairperson, Extra Value Multipurpose Cooperative Society in ASU CBN, Federal University of Lafia 2016 today, and member ASU Committee on Gender 2023 today. She has equally served as the matron Nigeria Fellowship of Evangelical Student Lifers at Sumobi, matron Nigeria Fellowship of Evangelical Student Lifers, Federal University of Lafia, and so many others. Professor Zara Emmanuel Kwaghe is a committed member of the Historical Society of Nigeria, the first professional association in Nigeria. She was the treasurer, so financial secretary of the society from October 2008 to October 2022. Apart from being the convener of the 65th conference and congress, Zara has also served the society in several other capacities, including but not limited to member committee on history methodology workshop. She is a regular member of the society delegation on courtesy call and other representation. She is currently the vice president, North Central, and a fellow of the Historical Society of Nigeria. Some special award received by Professor Zara Kwaghe in recognition of her contribution to research and development include Chief of Armed Staff Major General T.A. Lagbaja Award for attending the Nigerian Army Seminar on Research Development and Innovation held at the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja on 14th March 2024. Director General Nigerian Army Resource Center Award for the Center Monthly Lecture Series, January 31st, 2024. Chief of Armed Staff Major General T.A. Lagbaja Award in appreciation of our outstanding performance as a research fellow during the compilation of compendium on Nigerian Army participation in ECOMAG operation and lesson learned, 1990 to 2023 in 2004, Historical Society of Nigeria Award for Outstanding Performance in 2021, and Outstanding Leadership Award April 2024 from the Advanced Management Academy, Abuja. As a scholar and outside Nigeria, and has published over 40 articles and book chapters in both local and international journals. Edited 2 books, and she is the current managing editor of the Lafayette Journal of History and Development. Professor Zara's hobby include reading, counseling, and traveling. Zara is happily married to Dr. Emmanuel J. Kwaghe, and the marriage is blessed with 2 lovely children, Joseph and Stephanie Kwaghe. My Vice Chancellor, sir, I present to you my sister, Professor Zara, for her inaugural lecture.
Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Latvia, Principal Officers of our great university, Deans and Directors, Members of Senate, Members of Congregation, Council and Members of Historical Society of Nigeria, all professors present, invited friends and colleagues, members of my nuclear and extended family, my past students and present students, Students Historical Society of Nigeria. It is with humility, great honor, and gratitude to God Almighty and my Lord Jesus Christ that I stand before you this day, being May 14, 2024, to deliver the 14th inaugural lecture series of our great university. This lecture is the 5th from the Faculty of Arts and 4th from the Department of History and International Studies. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to state at this juncture that I am, by the special grace of God, the first female inaugural lecturer from the Faculty of Arts and the Department of History and International Studies, Federal University of Latvia. Until today, sir, all the previous presenters from the faculty and department were males, and I do not take this for granted at all as I return all the glory to God. In agreement with the previous inaugural lecturers, inaugural lecture is a significant milestone in the academic profession of a professor, and this provides a platform to share one's academic and research activities and other contributions and services to humanity. It is also an occasion for the university to publicly acknowledge the appointment of a new professor and formally introduce them to the academic community of the university. The Vice Chancellor, sir, since you assumed leadership of this great institution, you have not failed to encourage newly conferred chairs and even the older ones to present their inaugural lecture. In fact, the first time you invited all associates and full professors to a meeting, then I was an associate professor, you passionately emphasized the need for all the newly appointed professors to give their inaugural lecture within 1 year of being promoted. Sincerely, sir, After that meeting, I was a bit apprehensive. My concern then was based on the question, what will a newly appointed professor tell the public? Sir, I had thought, as the tradition in most universities, that a professor has to be given enough time to build a professorial curriculum vitae, and that which will wow a lot of people when it is being read. And I also held the assumption that such a professor should have professed and churned out quite a number of students at the postgraduate supervisory level. My second worry was on the expenses usually incurred at the occasion of inaugural lecture. However, in order to comfort myself, I went to read more about inaugural lecture, and my discovery was that, just as the name implies, it is not meant to be delayed, and that our amiable Vice Chancellor is right on course on his advocacy for early inauguration, and this changed my mind drastically. I learned that inaugural lecture is delivered by a tenured academic who has been recently promoted to the rank of a full professor. The topic of the lecture is chosen by the professor and typically relates to his or her research expertise. It covers the professor's research journey, contributions to knowledge, what he or she knows, what is unknown and yet to be known in their field of study. Since then, I began to think and plan mine, even though I was still disturbed by funding. On this note, I would like to thank the Dean of Deans, Professor Josephine E. Ode, for helping me realize that I did not need so much to entertain my guests at my inaugural. Thank you, ma'am, for your encouragement and sharing love. Today, I am standing before you, sir, and these distinguished guests to present the 14th inaugural lecture of the university. And I think this is a victory of the inner self battles I went through to summon the courage to be inaugurated early in the position. Vice Chancellor, sir, I am incalculably grateful to you for availing me the platform and opportunity to fulfill this rite of passage before I become too old in it to do so. Sir, having said the above, I would like to inform you that my inaugural lecture is in two segments. The first is my vocation as a university academic, and the second is based on my research endeavors and contributions to humanity. While growing up, sir, as a little girl in Calabar, I remember with nostalgia how my father will always tell us stories before bedtime, but not after I have recited my 2 times table. Remember the 2 times table? And he's always with the whip to make sure that I recite that 2 times table very well. So after that, he now tells us his story. And many times when he stops telling the story, I'll begin to beg him, please conclude the story. I want to know the end of the story. Perhaps that was where my love for history was cultivated. As I advanced in my education, my likeness for history continued, and I found myself reading biographies, novels, and history books. While in primary and secondary school, history was one of my favorite subjects, and was also my first choice of discipline when I applied to study in Ahmadu Bello University, Zara, after my IJMB program in the then Borough College of Basic Studies, Maiduguri. While I was in ABU, I had the privilege to be taught by scholars of great repute who belonged to the ABU School of History. Prominent among them were the late Dr. Bala Usman, late Dr. Mahmoud Chukwu, and Professors Inaugural, Monde Mangwat, Al-Kasum Abba, late Professor Abdullah Mahdi, Joseph Kwaghe, Zachary Bundu, Wache Ansa, and many others. In Zara, I was further exposed to another aspect of history, which emphasizes the rigorous evaluation and assessment of all types of sources for historical reconstruction, and also the Marxist school of thought. At the University of Maiduguri, where I undertook my postgraduate studies in history, I had the opportunity of meeting and being taught by the late quintessential Professor Saad Abubakar, a product of ABU School of History himself. In fact, he was the first to be awarded a doctorate degree in ABU and in history by the university. Also, Professors DSM Kuroma, JP Dada, Saliba James, Waziri Ibrahim, Mukhtar Yakubu, Umar Diram, Drs. Ferry and Garba were all my teachers. I joined the services of Adamawa State University, Mubi, as a pioneer staff in 2002.
While in ANSU, I taught history and history-related courses in the School of Foundation and Remedial Studies, Center for General Studies, and the Department of Political Science. This was before the Department of History was established in 2014. I was the pioneer head Department of History, Adamawa State University, until 2015 when I transferred my services to the Federal University of Kwaghe and Zara State. While in Adamawa State University, Mr. Vice Chancellor, inclusive of teaching, research, and community service, I served as an examination officer in School of Foundation and Remedial Studies, Department of Political Science, and also a member of Senate Business Committee. My encouragement in the different sections of the university and my eventual services to the various units added to my already cultivated self-discipline, friendly and supportive disposition. It was with the same mind and attitude that I transferred my services to the Federal University of Lafayette, Nasarawa State, as a senior lecturer in 2015, after Boko Haram invasion of Mubi and attack on my many residents there. Since joining Lafayette, I have also been privileged to serve in different committees at the university, thank you, faculty and department levels, like was read in my by the orator. The Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor, I got promoted to an associate professor under the leadership of Professor Mohammed Sanusi Liman, and to full professor by our amiable Vice Chancellor, Professor Shehu Abraham. In all this, I say thank you to God who availed me the opportunity, sound mind, and good health to meet and interact with wonderful colleagues in my department and in other departments across the length and breadth of the university. Vice Chancellor, sir, having given a brief of my university career, I will at this juncture concentrate on the main reason we are gathered here today, which is the inaugural lecture proper. Sir, it is pertinent to note that today's inaugural lecture is the first lecture to specifically focus on women since the tradition of inaugural lecture began in Philadelphia. The first 13 dwelt on different aspects of human endeavors in the society. The presenters, I must say, all did remarkably well as they thoroughly and brilliantly discussed as well as educate attendees on different fields. I doff my cap in respect for them, sir. Today we are here gathered at my instance to listen to another topical issue of concern that affects the way history has been written and understood over the years. The writing of history over time has concentrated on the spectacular achievements of men and has neglected or negligibly glossed over the contributions of women in the development of the society in which we live. Until the 1970s, very little was written on African women's history. Despite the advances made in African historiography, there was no serious attempt by historians to study and document the role of women in society. Even when authors who were mainly male note the omission of women in their works and offer apology, they still continue to write historical analysis that ignore gender and women's contributions. The lack of many serious documentation of women in African historiography contributed to the dearth of information on African women who made their marks in the annals of their different societies and times. Some of these women have been mistaken for men and their achievements conferred to men. Kathleen Sheldon observes that while R.A. Sargent was investigating the history of royal women among the Bunyoro Kitara in Uganda, he discovered that men's oral histories tended to omit the stories about women who ruled in the past. Where such women were mentioned, it was considered an aberration rather than a real political force. Besides, the colonial administration, as our opines, paid very little attention to the role and contribution of women, except in times of crisis like the Eba Women Riot, Mau Mau Rebellion, Aba Women Riot, and many others. The colonialists did everything possible to wipe away the achievements of women from the society. African historiographers, majority of them were males, continue to imbibe this Eurocentric bias in writing African history and Africanist discourses, thus creating a documentary gap and partly led to women's history, both past and present, often appearing as anthologies. However, after the United Nations Conferences on Women between 1975 and 1985, as well as several international feminist movements and activism, scholars from different disciplines such as history, sociology, political science, English literature, etc., began to populate the academia with works focused on women expertise, experiences, and contribution to nation building. Prominent among such scholars include Bolandawe, Okwe, Ego Juchen, Nina Iba, Flora Mwapa, and also Uche Mechata and others. Some of them wrote fictions, non-fictions, drama, poetry, and prose to document the activities of women in pre-colonial, colonial, and post-independence Nigeria. Their contributions have shed more light to the roles, struggles, victories, and experiences of women in the maintenance of the well-being of their societies. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, it is germane at this point to note that though the aforementioned scholars and many others have written on different aspects of women's history in Nigeria, a lot more are yet to be covered. For instance, the role of women in development has not been sufficiently underscored. The more women's studies we embark on, sir, the more accurate and enriched history we find. The society is made up of both male and female genders. In a situation where the study of the history of half of the population is sacrificed, Falola affirms that a significant risk is posed that cloisters, misinterprets, and reduces the nuances and complexity of historical happening in a way that is so substantial that more can be said to have been lost than to have been gained. Thus, it is of necessity to document the monumental roles of women in all aspects of life, from science and technology to politics and arts, and to their general involvement in modern-day development. On the issue of documenting and interrogating women history, sir, very few women are involved in it. Africa, several reasons are responsible for this lacuna. Prominent among these reasons are the kind of societies these women are in, which is patriarchal, also cultural differences, poor or lack of education, lack of information on women, etc. are other causative factors. The patriarchal nature of the Nigerian society, for example, has made writers, female writers inclusive, to concentrate more on the achievements of the male gender at the expense of the immense contributions of women to societal development. Women should be encouraged to write their history in this way that brings her to the center of the public discourse. It should not be left for men to write. Women are in a better position to tell their story because their feminine perspective of the story in history lends credence to their experiences and activities. It is on this premise that this inaugural lecture is titled History in the Making of Modern Nigeria, Patriarchy, Women and Politics of Knowledge Production. Is a story in history written from a feminist perspective, emphasizing the role of women or told from a woman's point of view, and bringing the women from the margin to the center. It is a neologism or a poem word from history, that is history, which stems from feminist critique of the conventional historiography. The word history is, like we know, is derived from the Greek word historia, but the word history, it is etymologically unrelated to the possessive noun his. The word history, which is a conflation of two words, hair and story, has been credited to Robin Morgan, who first used the term in print in her 1970 anthology, Sisterhood is Powerful. During the second wave feminism, feminists saw the study of history as a male-dominated intellectual enterprise and presented the term history as a means of compensation. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I chose the term history instead of history because as an eclectic feminist, I strongly believe that in documenting African women's history, African women are not meant to be taken. This is largely because the majority of male writers narrate history while the female writers relate her story. Above all, most male writers portray Nigerian women as weak, helpless, and marginalized group. This image has undermined the proper study of the various integral functions that the Nigerian women have accomplished throughout history. When every educated woman in Nigeria begins to write her story and those of her illiterate female relatives, a knowledge bank will be created and ready for mining in not distant time. So African women must continue to live their future, must not continue to live their futures and their stories and abandon it to the men to write. They should write their history. Because in writing their history, they tell their story better. Her story in the making of modern Nigeria. In this and subsequent sections, I will navigate through history to interrogate the extent to which Nigerian women have contributed to the growth and development of modern Nigeria. According to history, pre-colonial Nigerian women played very important roles in the development of modern Nigeria. We have seen them participate in different aspects of life, economic, they have also participated in both in economic and political spheres of life. They were farmers, potters, traders, weavers, healthcare providers. They were also priestesses. They participated as political leaders and all. Nigerian women in the pre-colonial period were not inferior to men, neither were they second-class citizens. They rather enjoyed equal status with their male counterparts, playing their assigned roles in the society without discrimination. Most African societies in pre-colonial period, as Saidi Assad, tended to be hierarchical in nature, with several centers of authority aspiring to establish communities where gender relations between women and men were equitable. Men and women may have had their different roles and tasks, but what they did frequently had a similar status within their communities. These roles and tasks were complementary, having both women and men working together to keep the society together. At that time, women were respected and their position and roles in the family and community at large were not viewed as inferior to that of men. In the different communities in our Nigeria, where what later became Nigeria today, women participated in different spheres of life. In northern Nigeria, for instance, women were adequately engaged in the building and economy and politics of the North. In relation to the economy, women had contributed hugely to the regional economy. They were involved in the textile industry of the time. In the Sokoto region, for example, women spun and wove in cotton. They were also dyers, farmers, and kept livestock. They were very prosperous until the incursion of Islam brought about restriction to their life and style, and public, so their life. Consequently, women were barred from activities that exposed them to the general public. They were hindered from getting skills as tailors and garment embroiders, and also restricted to only spinning where they received lesser pay than with men. Of course, we are aware that in pre-colonial Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, women also participated in political affairs. And we remember women like Inaugural of Zazao, Daurama of Daura, and then the Borunu women who have been very, very good in political affairs. They have all been documented in history. Pinadina, for example, was described by Afibu as a powerful woman, whose political and military exploits dazzled all Hausa land in the 16th century. Thank you. My daughter. And she's a woman. A very good woman for that matter. That is what I'm trying to say. I have been talking and talking. No man offered to give me water. women played complementary roles to men, even though they still had specific roles reserved for them. Now, women in pre-colonial northern Nigeria were very active. They were not restricted to the homes until the coming of Islam and colonialism. And northern women were not entirely repressed or relegated solely to domestic affairs or the other room in the Nigerian palace. They were also out of the other room. So in north, also in the north central, you see women that were also very active. We remember women like Princess Inibi and Oma Idoko of Igalaland who sacrificed their lives for the sake of their society. In the same way, in the southern and eastern part of Nigeria, we see women participating in the economy, in the politics, and every areas of their lives in the pre-colonial period. In the political domain, pre-colonial Eastern women, for example, interacted freely and also served along with their men. Though men were predominantly in charge of the political sphere, women still served as rulers, agents, sat on the King's Council and others. You see them also in the southern part of Nigeria. And women also exercise their authority. There is something they call sitting on men. When they sit on men, men will not have any choice but to do what they are supposed to do. So in the southern part of, yes, sitting on men, that was what they used to fight against colonialism. Similarly, in the southwest, the Yoruba women were involved in the political, economic, and social advancement of their kingdom. Yoruba women held important titles alongside their male counterparts. We remember that in Yoruba land, Iya Oba acted as the queen mother, Erelu was a female member of the Okoli cult, Iya Kare, and then Iyaloja and others. They were all very prominent in Yoruba land. Kalola and Genova confirmed that in the 16th century, when the throne of Oyo Empire became vacant and there was no male heir to occupy it, Oronpoto, the sister of late Alafin, became the queen and was such a strong personality that led men to war on horses. Also, women like the brave Queen Moremi Ajasoro saved Ile-Ife around 12th century. In recognition of her prowess, in the 21st century, her statue was erected in the palace of the Oni of Ile-Ife in 2017. In fact, time and space do not allow me to talk a lot about the outstanding pre-colonial women that made impact in our present-day society. Many from a humble background then left remarkable footprints on the sands of time. This was made possible because of the way women were valued in the pre-colonial times. However, the above discourse does not sound good. However, women were valued in ways not seen in most places. Coming to the colonial period, bringing in the Victorian way of life, which they had to affect the position of women in Africa. Women now began to be relegated. The same women that were involved in politics now began to be relegated to the background. And because Trinity, especially during free to be involved in those activities, they began to, some women that still stood and said no matter what happens, they will reach the Victorian part of Nigeria. Policies designed to discriminate against women and promote gender inequality to their led by domestic front was popularized by the Europeans and the missionaries who taught the Nigerian children in schools. So brothers tried as much as possible to make any position that women had held during their period. Then we did that to their farmers and told private women from participating in the cash crop incentives and technology empire. So the later imposition of taxation on women for their freedom. So in order to check against the high-handedness of colonial, you noted, you remember the civil life of putting cash to fight against colonial women, which was led by voting rights on the public agenda until it was achieved. She raised a strong motion calling on the pressure on the police authorities to the motion was passed. So later, Lagos women are in the police force. Women were not allowed to come out and do what she was doing. So she was very, very unpopular. So by this time in the history of Nigeria, there were already calls for women voting rights in other parts of Nigeria by women like Margaret Ebo calling for that. So Gambo Sawaba saw the need for her to also emphasize that women in the north should be allowed to go to school. They are also girls, they are women, they are human beings. They should be allowed to go to school, they should be allowed to vote. So in the process of discharging her duty as a party member and modern women's advocates, just like Margaret Ebo in the East, Gambo Sawaba openly advocated against child marriage, forced and unpaid labor and discriminating taxes, and campaigned for jobs for women, education of modern girls, and voting rights of women. She went from house to house to do that in Kano, but she received a lot of punishment as a result of that. The punishment she did not deter her all the same from campaigning for women enfranchisement. In order to discourage her, she was constantly arrested, beaten, and dehumanized. She was sentenced to jail 16 times during her lifetime. On 2 occasions, she was stripped naked and given 80 lashes in Zara's central prison. She, among other Nembu women, were beaten and their hair shaved with a piece of broken bottle. She was beaten up by 6 men and left to die in the bush. As a result of the numerous torture she endured in prison in 1957, she was forced to remove her womb to save her life. According to her, there is no opening in my body, mouth, nostrils, eyes, or anywhere else from which blood did not gush out from because of torture. My front teeth are artificial. The originals were broken and pulled out. Her struggle and determination eventually paid off. Today, women can vote in the north. Today, women can go to school. Today, women can come out and be voted for. Today, women are in politics. All because of the sacrifices of women like Gambo Sawaba during the period of colonialism. What about the period of post-independence Nigeria? What have women been doing after that? The position of women, of course, in post-independent Nigeria did not change so much, but they had to continue to struggle. They kept struggling. Colonialism, as noted earlier, did not prepare women to rule at all. They did not prepare women to be in politics or anything, but women continued to struggle. They began to go to school. In spite of the many setbacks women faced after independence, many struggled to be educated after years of gender disparity in education. Female education has an impact in the development and prosperity of Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria embarked on universal free primary education, and women were encouraged, both boys and girls were encouraged to enroll, but of course that enrollment is not the same in the different regions. So gradually the enrollment of girls in primary education soared, even though more boys than girls enrolled. By 1970 to 1994, for example, the enrollment of girls in primary education steadily increased from 30% to as high as 80%. Despite the increase in enrollment, differences still exist in all levels of education, and the attrition rate of girls was higher than that of the boys. Also, the participation of girls in STEM was lower than that of the boys. From available statistics of female enrollment in 2002, the combined gross enrollment for primary, secondary, and tertiary schools in Nigeria for females was 57% compared to 71% for males. According to Statista in 2017-2018 school year, around 28 million children were enrolled in both private and public primary education in Nigeria. There were considerably more pupils enrolled in public school than private school. And in total, public schools accounted for 22.7 million, while private schools were put at 5.4 million. Out of the gross total enrollment, 28 million, which is 49% was female, while 52% male. So likewise, in 2018 academic year, 1.8 million undergraduate students and 242,000 postgraduate students enrolled in Nigerian universities. Among the postgraduate and undergraduate students that enrolled, women accounted for 38% and 44% of the population respectively. In the gross enrollment, male accounted for 57%, while female 43%. Graph is there. Yes, that's the graph. The above statistics on university enrollment indicates that males enroll more than females, although with a slight differentiation. This simply means that Nigerian women have continued to push themselves forward in the field of education in order to close the gap and also take up the responsibility of nation building as much as the men. Bringing the study back home to Federal University of Lafayette, Mr. Vice Chancellor, women enrollment since the school began has been very impressive. So far, out of the gross total enrollment from 2011 to 2021, which is 52,810, 42%, this amounting to 22,422 were females, while 58% amounting to 30,408 were males. So below, so the Vice Chancellor, sir, you will agree with me that women have come a long way since the era of colonialism, irrespective of the challenges they have faced and are still facing. Although they are yet to close the gap, but they are gradually getting more active in previously male-dominated professions. Today, outstanding women, Nigerian women from different regions of the country, who have contributed in one way or the other to the growth and development of Nigeria, have continued to multiply, and you find them in different fields. In the field of education, you have them there. You have Chinua Obaji, and we also have Chief Elizabeth Akazua Ibasi, and many others. Some have become vice chancellors, people like Grace Alele Williams and others. In the field of medicine, we also have women dominating by women not dominating, equally dominated, which is dominated by the male gender. Women have been able to carve their niche too. Since the first female to practice as a physician in Nigeria, Elizabeth Abimbola Awoli, in 1938, women have not stopped venturing into the field of medicine and breaking the jinx in the all-important sector. Statistics on the number of doctors in Nigeria from 2017 to 2019 by gender reveals that out of a gross total of 108,573, 70,917 are males, while 37,656 are females, representing 65% and 35% respectively. Can we just clap for the women? Some of the female doctors in Nigeria include late Ameyo Adedevo, who played a key role in curbing the spread of Ebola virus in Nigeria by quarantining the index case Patrick Sawyer, despite pressure from the Liberian government to release him. Of course, we remember that she later died of Ebola in August 4, 2014, just to save every one of us that is seated here. Other women we know are Dr. Abimbola Abolorinwa, first female urologist in Nigeria. We have Dr. Stella Aderoko Adeoba, became the first female surgeon, Neno Bianyo, and many others. We have Mary Dija Ogebe, the first female medical doctor in Nigeria, many others. The Vice Chancellor, sir, we cannot talk about women medical practitioners without remembering our own dear Dora Akunmi, who during her time as the Director General of NAFDA put together a team of female pharmacists and inspectors and declared war on counterfeit drug dealership and counterfeit drugs in Nigeria. Her action led to the closure of many open-air medicine stores in Nigeria, and we know that she garnered over 900 awards during her career, which is reportedly the highest number of awards ever received by any Nigerian. That was received by a woman. Women are similarly not lacking in the military sector. Since the very first time the first woman entered the military, women have been participating in the military, and they have also been outstanding in the various areas they found themselves. And we have women like late Major General Aderonke Kwaghe. We also have women like late flying officer Titi Dokpe. And recently, a 24-year-old Princess Owowo made history as the first ever female cadet from Nigeria to graduate from the prestigious Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, United Kingdom. The performance of these women in the military refused the gender stereotype that women lack the physical ability to withstand the strains of war and extreme violence associated with it. So, Mr. Chairman, sir, Nigerian women entrepreneurs are also the heroes of Nigeria's economic landscape. They are the heroes of the Nigerian economic landscape that has shepherded the dreams and of over 130 young Nigerians. A study on small and medium-sized enterprises has revealed that SMEs contribute 48% of the Nigeria's gross development product, and women account for 41% of that 48% of SMEs. This connotes that women are a major driving force in economic development in Nigeria. Politically, of course, we know women have not slowly progressed. I say slowly in the area of politics, progressed since independence, because men have not been encouraging them to do so. They're trying to make sure that they break that. So, in the First Republic and Second Republic, we see them progressing that gradually. In the Second Republic, we also have women during the time of Shehu Shagari. He was able to incorporate women in his government, and we have some of them there. Apart from the recognition given to women by appointing them, they were also slightly increasing in the area of politics. Remember Mrs. Franca Afebwa, who was elected in part of the member of she was a senator in the Second Republic. So the first 8 years of the Fourth Republic saw a slight increase in the election and appointment of women into key positions in the country. So in 1999, we had women elected, and we have statistics there. Please, yes, we have the statistics of women that have been involved. The same thing, aside from being elected, women also enjoyed appointed positions, especially during the time of Obasanjo, where the support of 30% affirmation action was upheld. And we see women ministers in the Fourth Republic. Women ministers in the Fourth Republic. Okay, women ministers in the Fourth Republic is yet to come up. Yes. Okay, this is the Fourth Republic, and we see the various presidents and their women ministers. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the above statistic reveals a lot on the effect of patriarchy and male dominance in Nigeria. Women are greatly discriminated against in seeking political and leadership position in Nigeria as compared to other nations of the world. Over time, women have been considered as not competent enough to hold political office. But we have also seen that many women, just like men, have excelled in their various positions while others have also failed. The challenges women face in their struggle to be elevated are many, but the effort they have made are still making should not be ignored or subsumed in the marginalization theory, which this lecture is not denying. Women's contribution, they should be encouraged, and they should also see themselves as people that are contributing in the society, and should not hide in that marginalization theory and begin to say we are marginalized. We are marginalized. Of course, even if we are marginalized, we are also doing a lot. So the marginalization of women worldwide led to the introduction of different programs and declarations by United Nations. And we have the United Nations declaring the decade for women. So the Nigerian government also keyed into that. During the time of Babangida, we saw how Babangida, even though he did not believe so much in so many of that, but the wife helped him to do so. And we saw what he did with the wife helping, and also the establishment of the Women's Center. Challenges faced by women in Nigeria. One of such challenges is patriarchy and other socio-cultural practices. Women are faced with the diverse challenges that have impinged on both their ability to tell their stories and taking up their position in the society. One of such challenges is patriarchy. Patriarchy, like we have mentioned earlier, is perpetuated in different ways. Socio-cultural practices such as female restriction, child marriage, widowhood rights, gender stereotype, discrimination, subjugation, suppression, and inequity, among others. The popular belief of domesticating the woman as a wife, mother, and caregiver affects the upbringing of the girl child or women, and also restricts her desire and ambition to excel. Society, especially African society, often views men, no matter their position and status, as superior, while women are subordinate and inferior to them. Also in Nigeria, gender stereotype has indicated that some men in authority usually exhibit scratchy behaviors with women, especially those women who have distinguished themselves in the career building and contributing immensely to the development of society. To them, such women are either too assertive and so are branded loose, prostitutes, and sometimes are considered rude. Some even believe that women are too emotional and erratic in nature, and trusting sensitive position to them will spell danger. However, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, this impression about women have been proven wrong by so many outstanding women who have held positions and contributed to the development of the society. Need I go far here, Mr. Vice Chancellor, to remind us that the very pioneer Vice Chancellor of our great university, the Federal University of Lafayette, is a woman. She was also the first female Vice Chancellor of the then Cross River State University of Technology. Without any doubt, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we are here today building on the legacy Professor Gray laid, and as your Vice Chancellor colleague then, you can bear witness to her great achievements. Others, the Vice Chancellor include Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, late Professor Dora Akinwumi, Amina J. Mohammed, Honorable Justice Amina Adamu Ogi, Chief Justice Aloma Mariam Muta, and our own very dear Professor Aleri Chichubu, who is the first female deputy Vice Chancellor, the first female Vice Chancellor. Another is lack of education. Limited education also contributes to the problems women face in Nigeria. Education is a process that enables individuals to achieve all-round development. According to UNICEF report, 7.6 million girls are out of school in Nigeria. 3.9 million of them are at the junior level, and more than 50% are not attending school at the basic education level. Also, 1 million girls drop out between the first and last year of primary school, and 0.6 million between primary 6 and JSS 1. In recent times, due to the activities of terrorists and bandits in northern Nigeria, 48% of out-of-school girls are in northwest and northwest. This has impacted on girls' right to education and increased the risk of child marriage, early childbearing, gender-based violence, discrimination, and poor health outcomes for both the girls and their children. Another is gender-based violence. Of course, we know that the gender-based violence is not limited to women alone and girls. Men also face gender-based violence, and boys. But the statistics, when you look at the statistics, women suffer it more, and that is also one factor that has affected the growth of women. Yes. Then we also have financial inclusion, which is one of the problems women are facing today. Some have to depend on their husbands and male relatives to come to their aid financially, and that affects the way they relate to the society and the way they can be able to function better. Now, patriarchy, women, and the politics of knowledge production. We have also discussed patriarchy. One of the reasons why women fail to have that ability to produce knowledge is also bias and marginalization. Another is limited access and representation. We have socio-cultural biases, gender-based violence, and all these are factors that aid women's inability to produce knowledge. Concluding remarks. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I would like to reiterate that from the pre-colonial times to the 21st century, the role and status of women in Nigeria have continuously evolved and therefore should be carefully and properly studied. This lecture interrogated the invaluable contributions the Nigerian women have made from the pre-colonial period to present in building and developing the Nigerian society despite all odds. This lecture is appropriate at this time when many Nigerians are bereft of the knowledge of the long-time contributions of women to the development and survival of the Nigerian society. The lecture has also helped to correct the impression in most male written works, which relegates women's contribution to the periphery or do not discuss it at all. In spite of the challenges of marginalization, women have contributed significantly to the development of the Nigerian society across different fields, such as education, science and technology, politics and others. So in order for the society to continue to make positive progress, male and female must complement each other to exhibit both men and women the necessary potential to fulfill their roles in the society and develop the nation. No role is inferior to the other, and also no gender is superior to the other. Both men and women are placed in the society to multiply and dominate the world, and not to dominate each other. Thus, neglecting or undermining the roles of women and emphasizing male dominance and authority would amount to counter-progressive and underdeveloped society. Complementing each other's strength and ability rather than emphasizing male superiority is the answer to growth and development. Sir, we would never forget that in a drowning scenario, it does not really matter who saves the person that is drowning, whether male or female. So the woman should be encouraged to write her story, knowing that in every history there is the female perspective, in which telling it her way is pertinent and only fair for her to the woman. Women are in a better position to tell their story better than men. Women scholars should also write more about women that challenge stereotype and sexism or demonstrate the strength of women, especially in our present-day Nigeria. There are some extraordinary female role models that history is largely silent on. These women die without their stories being recorded. It is not enough to just write. Women should tell their children, especially the male child at home, stories of both outstanding and ordinary everyday woman whose invaluable contributions keep the society moving. That way, they will learn to appreciate the roles and contributions of women in the society. Social and gender norms that place a low value on the education of girls and promote boys' preference should be discouraged. Women's studies emphasizing women's contribution in the society should be encouraged at all levels of our education. Also, at the home front, sir, that is here in our great university, where the change begins with you mantra of the Kwaghe administration. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I would like to thank you for considering women to be viable and competent to serve as a DVC academic affairs, Dean of Education, Professor, Directors, Heads of Departments and Units, and like the famous Oliver Twist, Mr. Vice Chancellor, we are still asking for more. There is no responsibility. We have not used that to adequately employ the services of the women population in the Labia's community. And history will be fair to remember your immense support for the women. At this juncture, my lecture has ended. I would like to acknowledge a lot of people that made this lecture possible today. First, I owe my achievements and what I have become today to God Almighty. From the beginning of my life and career, He has been visible and still is. To Him belong all the glory, honor, and adoration. I appreciate my father, late Edmond N. Okani, and my mother, late Hajianana Okani, who taught me to accept and appreciate others, no matter their religion or ethnic group. What matters most is that they are humans. They were the best parents ever. I can see things differently from others today because I was raised by diverse individuals. My father, who died young, saddled my mother with the task of parenting us with the help of my paternal and maternal relations. She did an amazing job of bringing us well. My only regret is that she is not physically here today to cheer me. My profound gratitude goes to my late uncle and his wife, Mr. Lawrence Okani, who took the responsibility of financing part of my education after the untimely death of his elder brother, my father, and to my siblings who, in one way or the other, contributed to my success. Next, I will appreciate my late brother, Mr. James Okani, who started calling me professor long before I became one. Also, Joe Okani, Dr. Azul Kanoli, Mrs. Miriam, Dr. Alima Shule Alhassan. Your financial contributions, words of encouragement, material gifts, and prayers, and still sustaining me, and they have sustained me and are still sustaining me. I cannot thank you enough. To my dear husband, Dr. Emmanuel Joseph, your friendship, love, and care are immensely appreciated. It is my prayer that God will meet your heart desires. To my children, Joseph and Stephen Kwaghe, thank you for accepting me as your mom, and I thank God for giving you to me. Your support, prayers, and hard work are well deserved. I appreciate my brother-in-law and the mechanic of me, its wife and others. To my nieces and nephews, I say thank you. I acknowledge and appreciate council and members of the Historical Society of Nigeria for their care, love, and support. All families, Professor Kwaghe Ochefe, Professor Kimumi, CBN Obogo is here. Owe, Esko, and Alima. I may not be able to mention all your names, but I will just mention some people I appreciate. Professor Victor Esliga, Professor Shugaba, Professor Ami Zeki, Professor James Abba, Professor Kondon, Professor Abiodun, Josephine Ode, and many others that I cannot mention everyone. I would like to especially thank my sister, Blossom S. Ocho Agede, my personal person, who gave me a perspective to pursue. I would like to thank also Dr. Ojimba, who did a lot of editing of my work too. I would like to thank Mrs. Esther Obalikita, my sister from another mother. I would like to thank also my sister, Professor, my very own sister, Professor Amali, Halima Amali, and the way she has been encouraging children like those other people like Bashir Zomota. And also I would like to mention Professor Nuradin, Registrar, and all the Senate members and staff of the Academic History and International Studies. That my family, I thank you all. I thank Professor Bishop David Inuan, Pastor Paul Maiuchi, Pastor and Mrs. Hilary, Pastor Benny, and all my invaluable for their invaluable prayers and encouragement are highly appreciated. To my primary, secondary, and A-level schoolmates who are here, I would like to thank you all. I will thank Dr. Nessie, Ms. Lorena, and also Malik, and all my classmates in the course that are here. I thank you for coming. I also appreciate all my non-biological children that are here present, my students that are here, both in academic. Finally, I wish to once again thank the Vice Chancellor for his inaugural lecture in the series. May God continue to keep and guide you as you study the affairs of this great university. On this final note, I will wish all a very safe trip back to your destination in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Can we give a standing ovation? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Kwaghe, for that wonderful presentation. Please, we can take our seat. Mr. Chairman, sir, I noticed that while the women were busy clapping aloud, the men were smiling in affirmation of the issues raised. We thank you all for your contributions. Please be seated. make some presentations to the inaugural lecture.
Thank you very much, our inaugural lecturer. We are very grateful for this excellent presentation. And before we give her the certificates, plaque, and gifts, I want to announce something here. For some of us that are associate professors, please, you don't wait until when you are professor before you start writing your inaugural lecture. Once your associate professor is announced, you have already completed over 70% of your journey to professor. You can start writing your inaugural lecture. Then, the second thing again is on the 25th of this month, there will be an interactive session of Vice Chancellor with all associate professors and professors of this university. And for some of you that maybe we are assessing for associate professor, and those we are assessing for professor, you are also free to join this interactive session on the 25th of this month. And that day, the person that will give us lecture is Professor Shehu Abdulrahman. And the topic is Professor, is it a title or service? So that is the topic. And we are hoping for the newly appointed Vice Chancellor of Nasarawa State University, Kefi, who is also a woman, to come and chair the interactive session. So please, for those that are even senior lecturer, at least for you to gain a lot from this very important lecture, you are free to join. But it is strictly for those that are associate professors and professors. But why I'm saying those that are senior lecturer can join, because there are those we are already assessing for associate professor, and there are those we are also assessing for professor position. And as of today, I can say 70% of those we are assessing, their result is back. But we are going to announce it when everything comes complete. Thank you very much. This is all the information before we give our presentation to our inaugural lecturer. Professor Zara, Kwaghe, we appreciate your presentation. This is a certificate of merit awarded to you today for presenting this inaugural lecture on the 14th May 2024. Congratulations. And again, this is a symbol of identification to those professors that have presented inaugural lecture. We have said it. Once we enter any office in this university, and somebody is calling here himself a professor, you didn't see this one, he has not presented inaugural lecture. So this is a symbol to show that you have presented your inaugural lecture. Congratulations. This is also a package of gifts from the committee. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, if I have permission, I would like to invite Dr. Ahmed Mohamed Rabiu.
We'd like to thank you all for coming, for sparing your time to come. Before then, Mr. Vice Principal, I want to report that when we were in Traitrai, we were inside the tummy of our mothers. We were actually all females. Embryologically, we are all females. It is during differentiation and development that will now change to become either male or female. But initially, we are all female. It was later that will now become male. So, to follow up to that, the inaugural lecturer has asked me to announce this, that the reception is going to hold here, and she's inviting everybody. She said I should let you know that after we step outside to take the photograph, we are coming back here to dine and wine. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
The procession will leave the venue in reverse order. Please, can we clear the space here, please?
Professor Zara. My daughter had an eighth child, a girl, and she said she was going to name her Zara. I said, where did you get that name from? So we started researching the names. In our house, we do a lot of research. They will ask questions, where did you get Zara? Is it Egyptian or is it what so? We were still in the process of researching when I met Professor, then she was Dr. Zara, in a meeting. And she was talking and I looked at her. I said, this looks exactly like my granddaughter. This girl looks exactly like my granddaughter. And my granddaughter was just a few weeks old. But there was so much resemblance. And she kept on talking. So I went to my daughter and said, well, I have met one Zara. And she's very good and very intelligent. And it is like she resembles your child that you have just heard of something. But that's how I saw it. Incidentally, they have almost the same birthdays. Professor Zara is a good woman. That is all that I can say. And when humans like us pronounce something good, it means in the eyes of God, it is excellent. Can we give her a shilling clap? If you are happy with what she has done today, please clap for her. Thank you. Can somebody take this microphone from my hand or I will not? I want the music to go so that now dancing out.
This is my mentor, honestly. People don't know that many people help to make home for you. This is one of them. A round of applause for Professor Joseph Kwaghe. I'd like us to welcome one who supports the Shiros. I said so very, very, very confidently, without any iota of doubt or contradiction, or fear of contradiction. And I'd like us to welcome Professor Blaise Gudu Badem. She is the husband of a Shiro, himself a hero. Now look back.
Okay, heroes and sheroes, hello. It's very rare to meet people who I'm engaged with. In my lifetime, I can remember only, maybe there are not more than 5 people. And I'm older than all of them. She's my twin sister, and that's why she delivered her lecture before me. You know how it is. The first of the twins that comes out is a precursor to the other one. So, Professor Zara, thank you for giving me confidence. Thank you for that beautiful lecture. You have energy. Wow, you were talking and talking. Grammar was flowing from your person. So I'll pick up from there, and I'll do my best. It's nice to see your husband, tall man. So you're welcome, sir. And of course, your daughter is my student. You're saying, you know, I was happy that my student. So Stephanie, congrats. So thank you very much for that lecture, and we wish you know, it's your inaugural, so it's the beginning of your career. The beginning of your career. We've met professors who have been oozed with knowledge. I suppose that in our own case, we're fresh professors. We're going to inaugurate our chairs. I shouldn't go there. It's very nice to have spoken after a big professor. A masquerade. Should I say masquerade? Because you know most masquerades are male. Even though they depict female images, but most masquerade dancers are male. And they can mimic females. But I think I understand today why it's like that. When Dr. Rabiu talked about how we were genderless and sexless for the first 3 weeks before them. Anyway, just to offer you congratulations and wish you all the best in your career. The whole of your career, may it go well. You will win more laurels. You will head more centers and people. God bless you. Thank you.
I'd like us to welcome one of Professor Zara's sisters, Dr. Mercy Okoni. Professor Mercy Okoni. Give her a round of applause. I just love her dress. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, very excited to be here. My name is Mercy Ezomala. Now, Dr. Mercy Ezomala, but it was Mercy Okoni. For you, Dr. Zara, Dr. Zara is Dr. Zara. For me, she is Ikiru. I want to tell you that she was, or she is, my bosom friend. We are more than friends, we are sisters. We were primary school together. And we live near each other. So, I want to tell you so many stories now. We will laugh aloud. everybody well. You know, she recognizes, she doesn't discriminate. Then, there are so many things I want to say, but the one thing about her is that she's a very honest person. Nkiru is very honest. You cannot lie with her. And then we used to give ourselves guy name. She knows this history didn't start today. When we didn't know anything about the world, she already knew about the countries of the world. You know, she will call the countries of the world and tell us the things about those countries. And one of those countries she used to tell me about was Pakistan. Pakistan. So, which is about Pakistan? She will just tell us story about Pakistan. So after some time, she was not calling me Persecuted Assembly of Pakistan. Then I was calling her Nkiru World International. And she carried this history. Today she is a professor of history. Can we give her a round of applause? So many things I want to say, but I want to thank God for her. In fact, I want to sing a song. I want to say, we have a very big God, who is always by our side. A very big God, by my side. Nkiru has a very big God, who is always by her side. A mighty God, by her side, by her side. Thank you. Should I continue?
Speaking. So, these food people, can we be quiet and let the food go out? We are not so many. Take food gently, eat quietly, and listen. Professor Zara has a twin brother. Those of us that have twin children, we know they are born in one day. Some twins are born 10 hours in between. Some even 2 days in between. Professor Zara was born on the same day in 1966 with one person called Professor Likita Oga. So Professor Zara is actually a twin, just like I am also a twin. If you look at them very well, they are supposed to be identical twins, but they decided to become fraternal twins or maternal twins. I also have a twin sister. We were born the same day. We look exactly alike, and we were born to two brothers. My mom and her brother. I was born in the morning, she was born in the afternoon. But you see, when we come to claim seniority, I don't know who was born earlier than the other. I give it to Professor Zara. Who was born earlier? Anyway, they are twins. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the chairman of ASU Fulafia, Dr. Sunny Orinya. You know why he has to speak? Professor Zara holds the heartbeat of ASU.
Good afternoon. I still want to congratulate Professor Zara, but most importantly, I want to acknowledge Professor Zara's friendliness. If there's a prize for the most friendly staff of this university, Professor Zara will pick it with ease. I will want more of Professor Zara's time. Professor Zara is the only one that will ask me to follow him. And I'll keep driving and following her, I keep driving and following her without asking a question. She is a friend to everybody in this university, down to earth. I thank Almighty God that He has gotten to this level, and I pray that for those that may not have reached that level, we should all come together and celebrate more. I think very soon Professor Kwaghe will be having his inaugural, and we also gather like this so that we can eat. I think we have worked enough in this university. Our colleagues should be celebrating success like this. so that we can all come together and enjoy our relationship the more. Thank you very much for coming, and may God bless all of you.
Successful. The Dean, Faculty of Arts, where Professor Zara is domiciled, is here. When you see the Deputy Dean, you have seen the Dean. Yes, so I can hear him saying, come back, what I say, didn't you agree? And I say, there's this agreement that sometimes, you know, they make stand the test of time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Deputy Dean of Faculty of Arts, Dr. Obuche, to please come and say what he knows about the staff of Zara.
Hello. Congratulations to our mommy. On behalf of the Dean, Faculty of Art, I want to sincerely congratulate our mommy. In fact, it was under her leadership, when she was head of department, that was when I secured employment into the university. And she has been so friendly. She's a mother par excellence. So we congratulate you, we celebrate you, mommy. She always, one thing I always like about mommy, she will say, Dr. Obuche, I will slap you, but the slap will never land. The slap will never land. She is a very disciplinarian woman. And we are learning on a daily basis from her. So on behalf of the Dean, we sincerely welcome all of you to this very historic occasion, and we wish all of you a safe trip back to your destinations.
Thank you. Are there people in the house? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I also cited from Dr. Zara, the person who owns this very hall where we are sitting. I beg you, it's not a big deal. I know how much you told us to come here, and it's hard to go on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Deputy Vice Chancellor herself, a Shiro. Give it up for Professor Alechi Chukwu. There are some people that are born elegant. When she gets up, you will turn back and you say, hey, who passed? I like us to welcome Professor Alechi.
the mother. I can hear her. And she tells me, stand up, I stand up. And Professor Zara is one of the few people that I would call friend. Friend that knows me to the house. That is the kind of person she is. There is this surface kind of friendship. You do acquaintance, come to the office, you know, where you meet. But Zara is a friend to the house. And I appreciate her so much. I am so happy that she has accomplished this today. I'm very proud of her. I had no doubt that it would be a success. Anyone who is backed by God, by Christ, can never fail. So once again, congratulations, Professor Zara, and thank you for making us proud. Thank you very much.
If you see me, you see somebody. My husband of 34 years, Professor Monday, you don't sit down again, just come and talk about Professor Zara. When I clap for my husband, I beg. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think I cannot leave here without saying something about this great woman. I said she's great because the first time I knew her was when she came for the burial of my mother-in-law at Kwaghe. That's the first time I knew her. And in fact, she's a very amiable woman, somebody that encourages one so much. When you look close to her, there are many, benefits you get from her. Not in terms of money, but in terms of her behavior, attitude, relationship. She encouraged me so much before I did my inaugural lecture. And of course, there have been of help to the family which I belong to. I want to join every other person to congratulate you for your wonderful inaugural lecture. I pray that God in heaven will bless you for the effort into this lecture and your family. And I'm happy that today I have been able to know the husband who has been behind you. I'm happy to see you. Sir, thank you, you're welcome. Thank you for the encouragement you give to her and every member of the family. We're happy to see you here. Thank you for all that you bring to help her to grow to this side. And I believe something that you are going to grow higher than this. This is the beginning, I believe, that there is a door for people to believe. With this performance, I pray God that will open door unto you in the name of Jesus. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Husband, I'm very grateful to have you as a husband. I'm grateful to God. Okay. You understand. I'd like to please welcome the husband of the celebrant. Yes. There's several ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from Dr. Inaugural Kwaghe. When you see a great woman, it's somebody that is doing it behind you. It's always the husband.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for all that you have done for Professor Zara. I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, such a transmutation. But I'm so surprised because actually when she left, she left because of what the Kwaghe. She left with only one chase and one t-shirt and her laptop and certificates. So when I begin to look between that period and now, what God has done, I really thank God for His mercies and also thank God for you that set her up fully as your sister, as your mother, and as your friend. One thing about my wife, we knew each other my son was here, you think he's my junior brother. There's something about that that I'm rejecting alone. That is passion. She's very passionate about everything. And in her passion, she's aggressive about her achievements. She's passionate about her family. She's passionate about her husband. She's passionate about her children. She's passionate about her students. She's passionate about her colleagues. And I think that's what makes her very unstoppable. Thank you so much for all your cooperation. God bless you.
Sean, when I do like that, there's only one person that can answer. Praise Sean. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Director of Environmental Safety. Wait. Sean!
Thank you, my DVC Academy, Professor Zara, her husband, Council President, distinguished gentlemen and ladies. Professor Zara is the military's daughter. I'm very, very happy and passionate that Professor Zara here is one of the military family. And in the military family, there is no lazy man. We are always there, even at 60 years. In her paper, I listened very carefully. She was too gender sensitive. And let me tell you one thing. When the present DVC Academy, Professor Dorothy was elected as DVC admin, Professor Zara, after everything, stood up and commented. And she said, "Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Me hearing the name of a female as DVC made me the happiest lady for that day. And today, by presenting that particular paper, she so much emphasized on the importance of women in politics, women's contribution to humanity, and others. Thank you very much. She's gender sensitive. She's misgender of the Philadelphia as far as I'm concerned. However, I do know that God created Adam first. Then he looked around. Later he now brought Zara, which is Hawa. You are always with us. We'll continue to direct you. Mrs. Bless, HOD, you have to prepare your mind. You will always be with us. We will still control you. Wait for your time always. Thank you very much.
While trying to round up, I see people who have been following us online since morning. May I ask you if you can hear me? Those of you online, would you want to say a word? If you want to say
and all the invited guests that are here, students, staff of the Federal University Latvian. It's a great privilege for meeting Mrs. Zara. I first met her when I was here for sabbatical, and then subsequently when my wife got employed here, they became friends like sisters. One and two are 11 and 12. And what I can say about her, she's somebody that is very passionate. Very passionate about people, very passionate about the progress of others, very passionate about the growth, of colleagues. If there is opportunity, she's open to, allow colleagues to share, to participate, to enjoy it. So we are grateful to God for giving us the opportunity of knowing her. God in His infinite mercy also made us to have the same birthday and birth month. So we bless God for that. We want to thank God for your life. We pray that God will continue to keep you, God will continue to protect you, and you will go higher and higher. God, who is merciful, will continue to do you good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, big brother. I'm very happy I have a twin sister too. Like I said earlier, we were born the same day. Except if there's anyone online wanting an issue to talk, I will call on the celebrant, Professor Zara Inaugural Kwaghe. This lady loves me and I love her. That is the truth. The bottom is that he loves me and I will love her. Alright, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What can I really say? The only thing I will say is thank you to everyone that has come here this evening to celebrate my inaugural lecture. I'm so delighted that people can leave their place where they are coming from, in various places, their homes, to come and be with me today. I'm not taking it for granted at all. And not only that, a lot of people contributed to make sure that this day came to pass. Some have contributed in both cash and kind, some are here, and some of them have gone too, some are outside. I really want to say thank you. Thank you, my students, thank you. All of them contributed. You see some of my students, they came and gave money, some gave water, anything. People were just giving, people were just there. I thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. Thank you, my sister, thank you, my twins. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Daddy, Bella. Thank you all. Thank you, Aleruchi, my own Aleruchi. Thank you. I want to also thank Asuchia. You came late, so you came late. You came late. You see. Thank you. Thank you all. I still say thank you, but I know I will deal with you for coming late. And my sister, thank you very much. Comfy, thank you. Above all, I want to thank my husband, Dr. Emmanuel Joseph Kwaghe. Thank you for coming, thank you for being there. Thank you all. Thank you. And I wish us all safety. Thank you, my children. They are here watching and saying I didn't thank them. See you. Everyone, Madam Stephanie, thank you all. Thank you all. I'm sure everybody, thank you. See my guys there, all of them, they are even in uniform. Thank you. Thank you all. See my students. Thank you, my people in the office. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everything. May God bless you all. And may God continue to keep all of us to see me. Hey, come now, Dama, come. This is one other son, one of my children. He is actually the director of this center. I don't even know what to say, but I say thank you. Thank you for everything. He has been standing by me and making sure that mommy, no one will not fail. Mommy, this one will happen. Mommy, this one. When I say, Nana, please say, and you know incidentally, he's bearing the same name with my son, Joseph Lama. Yes, and another one. And the same family. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you all. God bless you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Well, you cannot thank everyone enough. They are thanked. All of you are thanked. The Lord bless you all. You see, the level of sacrifice you see is the level of sacrifice you give. So that I will dissolve into your event and just carry it through. That's what you're seeing today. You know, the Lord bless you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. And thank you again. Comfort Okwela says, thank you. God bless you. Have a good day. See you again very soon in the month when we shall celebrate the first from theater and media arts. Wow, 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 wow. TMA shall show you. See you soon. God bless you.